Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly soul expression. Today's another beautiful day. You are all welcome. I welcome you all with peace and I welcome you all with love. So you're welcome, you are welcome. Please help me share the video. Let me share the video, invite friends and family. Let's express our beautiful soul. Hi, good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening. Invite friends and family. You are let me listen to a song. Let me listen to a song. This is a very beautiful song from Akoba. It's one of my favorites. Those who know me know the song anyway. Help me invite friends and family. Meanwhile, let's play this song. Invite and share before we start. Ipuesi yo gele. Help me share and invite people. Yo parafo igele. Ipuesi yego. Let me share. Let me share before we start. Mami ropa o. Share. You are welcome. Please let me share it, master. This is a Benin sound. Niposi yo ha igele, niposi yagbo wariye. Good evening. Nice to see you, Jack Smith. I love your YouTube videos. I love all of them. Spread it among us. Yeah, share it with everybody. Let's share it. Let me share it. Now enjoy it. I don't have time to share. I just enjoy myself. Say. Depends on our knowledge anyway. That's divination. Hello, nice to see you. Okay, nice to see you. That's right. Never come. That's obedient. Let's see. That's not enough. Let me go see you. Yeah. Then we know see Good evening, Chico. Good evening, I greet you special. Hi, Kia Queen, how are you? Nice to see you. My dog ain't gonna say That's right. Walobuchia. Oh, no, man. No, it's too early to call now. I'm just enjoying my music. Okay. I can't pick two phones at the same time. Adesso. Pronto? Ciao, buonasera. Per favore mi puoi richiamare indietro? Sono a Facebook, sto parlando con le gente a Facebook.
Ok,
Sì, quindi ci sentiamo presto. Appena finisci ti scrivo io.
perfetto. Ciao, a dopo.
Ok, ciao ciao. Ah, this other one I have to wait. Oh, Jabo. Good evening, good evening, good evening, blessing. Nice to always see you. Yeah, it's a nice music from October. Yeah, we have to wait. Hi, Elizabeth. Nice to see you. Good evening, everyone. Even if I just call your name, good evening, good evening. Support you, baby. Yeah, na support you, baby. That was a very strong divination. Hi, nice to see you. That's funny. I'll try to summarize the story after the music. It's a very beautiful story. Please let me share. I sent you share. My hands are busy. I'm also asking this for my head here. Oh yeah, shake your head. You can just roll like this, even if you don't know how to understand the lyrics. Ayo Kochebe. Obama ya dole yoma yi. Ayo Kochebe. Ayo Kochebe. I swear, yeah. Nothing will you, Barry. No vale la sotesa, Eikuya no gomo. No wale leso tese o. Tese o. Eikuya o. Eikuya wa ekwe. No wale leso wale leso o. Yeah, I welcome you all with love. I welcome you all with peace. Oh, good evening, good evening. Nice to see you, Okuripa. Nice to see you. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name so well, but you know I love you. Are you alright though? Yeah, I'm always fine. Live on Facebook. Yeah. Good evening. You are all welcome. Please give me 1 minute. Because it's very beautiful. We talk about obedience and really discuss these things. Today it's more like a discussion because it's so expression, so it's not really like teaching, It's more like a discussion. That's why you can always call in if you want. Okay, very good. Someone's seeking my attention. Oh, and I have to reply with this. So, good evening, everybody. Good evening. I welcome you all with love and peace and joy from the deepest parts of my heart. So, good evening, everyone. This is very important that we talk about these things because a lot of us, a lot of humans in general, thank you so much, love, thank you. A lot of humans in general always see obedience as a very moral principle. They always see obedience as something that you should do. So even when you refuse to obey, they see the judge and conclude that you are arrogant. They judge and conclude that you are just a rebel. I don't obey you does not make me a rebel. So that's why today we are going to talk about why you should not even obey. Why you should not even obey. Because why? If you look deep, today's a soul expression, so we are just discussing. If you have anything to contribute, you can always call in, of course. If you look deep into the real meaning, I know English is a language that limits expression, but it's okay. So the meaning of, you will observe something there. If you are sensitive, of course, you will observe something there. You will see that when it comes. Okay, really? Yeah, I think he's back now. We are having some network stress problem. Maybe they don't like the word obedience, but we don't care. We will still continue anyway. So, as I was saying, a lot of people who love authority, a lot of people who I call, hello, a lot of people who I call control freaks, when they hear the word don't obey or why you should not obey, they already kind of like they change their color already. Like, what are you saying? Why you should not obey? What if I'm giving you the right advice? What if I'm giving you the right guidance? This is how it is. As an old soul, before you are born, before you even reincarnate to this cycle again, you have your own kind of a code that is encrypted inside of your DNA. So now that you have developed into human, yeah, because don't forget, soul have nothing like gender or anything. Fine. But now that you are here as a human now, you are existing, those code, those informations inside of your DNA is very important to allow them to manifest. It's very important to allow them to rise, to grow, to come out. This is very important. Why is this very important? The moment whereby, as an old soul, instead of you now to start following your true authentic nature that you have, but all you do now is, this one is structure, you have to obey. Okay. This one is structure, you have to obey. Okay. This one is structure, you have to obey. Okay. Then in that process, what is going on? You are like also in a complete denial. It's even worse than a denial. You are kind of abandoning your own true self, your own true expression, your own true feeling, your own true words. And then you are just following something that has already been structured. Regardless what it is, it doesn't matter at this point. What matters at this point here is that ritual, that act of obedience is something that is a kind of a poison to a soul. Yes, you can argue if the obedience was something that leads to a positive thing, or you can argue if it leads you to negative things. At this junction we are now, we don't judge it. We don't weigh and balance the frequency, whether it's positive or negative. We are not doing that. What we are just doing is that act itself. That act itself limits you from expressing your own truths. Limits you from expressing your own free will. Because don't forget, obedience means to follow. When we say follow, it means don't think. Don't suggest, just follow. That's why you see people have laws, people have constitution, and when you ask why is it so, and they are like, it is so. So you really don't have option. You really don't have option. You just have to follow. That's the same trick the society is using. That's the same trick the government, the world, everything, the earth is being structured. That's why we have so many papers today anyway. So everything now is all about you have to follow. You have to follow. You have to be on the line. You have to be in the track. You have to follow. Somehow it sounds like, okay, good. This is how society works. This makes everything make sense. But right now, let's take it out of the bigger scale of the society. Let's bring it a little bit smaller. You, as an old soul now, you are coexisting with a family, or you are coexisting with a loved one, or you are coexisting with a religious cycle, because now we are drawing the cycle a little bit smaller so we can use it to explain it better. So when that family say you are born into this family, we must circumcise you because you are a woman, and we always circumcise all our women. You are like, okay. In fact, they don't even ask you. Africans do it when you are very little, so you don't even have choice, which is not cool, which is not nice. That's an abuse. Yeah, but no problem. So that is being done, and then everybody's like, okay, you know what? This is our family, and this next family we have been very good friend. You have to marry the first son, or you have to marry the first daughter from this family. You are like, okay, what are you doing there? Your own emotions are stuck. Your own free will are blocked. Your own desire are ignored. Your own thoughts are being cancelled. That's why obedience is a very toxic thing to the soul. Because when you always obey especially when it's not even the right path for you. Let's say, for example, yeah, good evening, nice to see you. It's nice to see you. Let's say the person you are even obeying, these parts or these things they are trying to make you obey have absolutely nothing to do with the reason why you even come here on earth. Automatically, what are you doing? Your soul is running far from you and you are doing something else. And you cannot really find that deep sense of pleasure and satisfaction in what you're doing, because why? You don't have your own emotions, you don't have your own thoughts, you don't have your own free will. All you just do is obey. Why? The more you obey, the more the order, which is now the opposite person giving you the order, the more they feel satisfied, the more they give you credits. So when you don't obey just one time, for them it doesn't matter for how long you have been obeying them. Just try it with people you always obey. You will see what I'm telling you. That for them it doesn't matter for how long you have been obeying them. For you not to have obeyed just one time, it's like you ruin everything. You pay dearly for it. Just like laws, for example. I want to bring you to a little scale, but I will still be touching that area. Just like your laws, for example, the constitutions. They don't care if you are 70 years old and you have always respected the constitution. You have no criminal record. Everything is fine. They don't care. The moment now you break the law, you break the law. Nobody, the penalty might reduce because you don't have criminal record, but that will not make them like, okay, you can go since you have never break the law. Yeah, Germans do it. Germans can say you can go. They give you like what they call probation, but then you are in a trap. Any slight mistake, you're paying 2 times of what you did before. So that's how it works. So obedience limits you from your own self-expression, from revealing your own thoughts, from connecting your own desire and free will. So the more you obey, the more you transform your noble soul into a slave nature. And that is worse than self-sabotaging. That is worse than self-denial. That is like taking a suicide pills with pleasure. While you're enjoying, act like you're just eating chocolates. That's exactly how it is. Yes, it's not nice to say, it's not a sweet thing in the ears, but that's exactly how it is. So, what I always discuss with people is, I don't like you to obey me. Hello, Esther, nice to see you. I don't like you to obey me. You don't have to obey me. I prefer respect than obedience. I prefer loyalty than obedience. You say obedience is not good and you talk about loyalty. Yes, loyalty is more noble. Loyalty simply means I kind of support the alliance that we have, which is a self-will and a self-expression. So tomorrow I can decide not to lawyer again, maybe because you break my trust or you break what connects that's my alliance with you. You see, it already start making sense. So when you go into loyalty, you will see that inside loyalty, as a man is bowing down to the king or hey the king, at the same time it's like I respect you for what you are. So the king greets the person back. It's like namaste. The king greets the person back. Automatically, what just happened there? It means that the king also have an awareness that this is a man and a king of his household. This loyalty is very different from obedience. Yes, you can argue that when you are loyal, then you have to obey. That's another argument you can draw. But what we are doing right now is a soul expression. So we are picking it like one pieces. So like I say, obedience kind of neglects you, kind of denying you kind of not even care about you. You can't express what you think if you always obey. You can't express how you feel if you always obey. You can't express your own true, authentic nature. And when the soul cannot express herself, then internal inflammation will start. And when the soul starts breaking down, yeah, you can call back. You can call back. We just start now. You can call back again. Yeah. So when the soul start breaking down, what does she do? She try to distance herself. It's like a toxic pool. Yeah, the water looks so blue, so beautiful, but the water is toxic. So the beauty now is not enough. The nice sight is not enough. It being liquid, also like water, is not enough. The colors now is not enough. Because why? The real essence that should be the real motive of you diving into that pool is already kind of not good, not existing. So it doesn't matter how the pool later look, is toxic, is toxic. That's exactly how obedience is. So the more you obey, the more you give your soul reasons to detach from you. And when your soul start detaching from you, your body start breaking down. That's why you see so many people today is in depression. A lot of people going through depression, when I do counseling with them, I always ask them, first question is, how is your cycle? How do people around you treat you? How do you get treated? And how do you also treat people around you? Because depression is not just like so many doctors make you to believe. It's not just one sickness that just come, like HIV. No, it's not a virus. Depression, in another word, I don't say don't see your doctor. Please, just listen to me with open heart. Depression, in another word, is a protest of your higher self against something you are doing that she don't subscribe with. So if you're in a toxic relationship, of course you must be depressed. If you're in a toxic family where everybody's like, vampire, I want to suck your energy, you will surely be depressed. That is for sure. Then if you have toxic friends who every time they see you, they always bring gossip. Every time they see you, they always have one new news to tell you. Never a time they can reason with you. Never a time your own friend can ask you, how are you feeling? How is your thoughts? How is your emotion? No, they don't care. Yes, they can ask you, have you eaten? Yeah, because some people think it's all about food. Have you have you eaten? And then everything they start saying next from there is just ta 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 ta. So when your cycle is full of toxic energy and toxic people who are in a kind of a parasites, just know that your spirit can stay around because she can absorb energy. Like I said in last week, spirit is more like it's very adaptive. Spirit can easily adapt. If you are into negativity, your spirit can adapt and become also negative. If you are into positivity, which we now call high vibration, your spirit can easily also vibrate high and also go higher. So spirit is okay. But when it comes to soul, don't forget his body. Yeah. When it comes to soul is just one language. She have a mission. If you have not listened to my soul series, go and listen to it. You will really understand a lot of what I'm talking about. So obedience is a trap and a cage for the soul, and it limits you to be able to express yourself. For the young souls that are just coming today, they can square with it. They can be very good in obeying. But for these old souls, obedient is like holding an armor and punching their own self. So they don't square with it easily. That's why you see many kids have problems at school today. Because why? The educational system that humans is operating today, many educational system. That's why I love Norway. I was in Norway for so many years. I respect, not so many, but just 4 years. I respect their educational system. Yeah, Norwegian educational system gives you the redefinition of how education should be. That's why if your daughter, she don't want to go to university, I recommend University of Oslo. Yeah, you have to pay me Oslo, not to advert for you. So what I'm trying to say is this. Educational system of today has been designed to program the mind of the children. And these indigo souls, these blue souls that are coming today, they don't have time for that. They don't have time for those programs. They have their own mission. So normally what education should be doing, that's what Oslo is doing. Normally what education should be doing is to help a child develop and manifest that thing that they carry within them. So automatically, which means you don't teach a child, you help a child to manifest what they carry. Why? All the information you need to survive on this earth is encoded in your DNA. Your DNA is like a kind of a supercomputer. So computer is a very low word to use, but let's use it so people can have any sense of understanding of what we're talking about. Your DNA is like a supercomputer. And all your ancestors that have ever incarnated inside here on this planet, even for those of you, the ancestors come from other planets, because we are not from the same place anyway, but regard where you come from. So all the information, their knowledge, the science, the maths, the understanding, the language, everything they have ever known is all created, is all written in your DNA. So the more you allow yourself to develop and manifest and grow and expand and bring it out and as true expression, of course, and bring these things out, the more all your DNA starts activating. So what we really need as humans is not to learn things, is to activate our DNA so that we will use our DNA now as our kind of a memory bank where we can take something and give to the world. Take something and give to the world. That's why for those into creativity and things like that, you will understand what I'm saying. You can only create by bringing things outside of you. You cannot create by using things around you. Then it's nothing special. It's nothing new. Nobody really cares. They don't give you Nobel Prize for that. Because why? Everybody know how to do a share already. So you make a share now does not really make a difference. Except you want to make a share that can really define the law of gravity and suspend on the hair. Then everybody's like, okay, this is a new share. So it have to be something new. It have to be something different from everything. It have to be something fresh. That's why I always tell people, if you jump out of religion and jump into your cultural ancient way of worship, it's good, it keeps you grounded. But if you just jump only there, automatically you have not really changed anything. Because why? There is really no difference between that religion and those traditions. The same way that religion was structured, that same way men also structured that your tradition. But kind of synchronizing everything together, mixing the culture, tradition together, plus your own information you carry, is what now give birth to something new. And because of something new, that's the only reason you are here. You are not here because because this was how it should be, and this is exactly how it should be, and this is exactly how it should be. No, that's not why you're here. You are here because why? There is that message. There is that thing. Oh, good evening, brother. Good evening. And this is, continue. Yeah, we can talk later. I miss you, man. Yeah. So there is that thing you carry inside of you, and that thing is what keep traveling, able to make it up there and keep on, never stop. If you imagine, if you can just imagine how the heart work, then you can understand what I'm talking to you about today. Because why? See the nature of the hearts. She's the first organ. Even right from the womb, she's the first organ. Even before the so-called super brain, the heart starts first. Fine. Just imagine. Every time the doctor or your gynecologist or wherever you go, every time they want to check that baby in your womb, what do they listen to? The heartbeats. Because why? That nature of that heartbeat depends how it is, depends on the energy of the heart. That nature of the heartbeat keeping explain the movement, the journey. So that heart now is like a messenger. It's like a messenger that is carrying a message to be specially delivered. So now that messenger now have formed herself. That messenger now have come out from the womb into this low dimension, this 3D dimension. So from there, that messenger now have to start growing. All you have to do is to assist that messenger to grow, not train that messenger to grow. The moment you start training that child, you think is good, you have to train your child. 2 + 2 is 4. No problem. Those are basic understanding of the society. I'm not saying you should not teach them those things. But what I'm saying is, whenever you are teaching them, also give them space to express themselves. Let's say, for example, you give them a pen and you are trying to teach them how to write 8s. Because sometimes 8 is not easy for kids to write. So it's always so hard for them to write. Some just end up drawing DNA when they're writing the 8. So you have to also have patience to see how the child interprets it. So you can learn also. Because why? That child is operating from a multi-dimensional frequency. So that child is operating. Wait, it's like we have a call. Let me see. Hello. Oh, good evening. How are you?
Oh, fine, thank you very much. Are yourself?
Oh, well, you're doing so great. This is so expression. You want to contribute?
Not necessarily. I just have to say regarding what you said before you move on. I like just something regarding when you said that we don't have to train our kids.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to say, like, I don't really understand that, because I get what you're saying when you said because of those also, or but then I'm trying to say, if we don't at least give them some certain training that they would need when the time is right, to then guide them through their path that they chose, it wouldn't be right, because the society of today now, especially the world we are living in now, where the food we're eating are poison, like GMO food, that people are not really rooted to the ground to get information from the nature. So I feel like those kids that are born now, they don't have no choice than to be eating those food, because there's no other food like that. If you have to go to the shop to buy organic food, which you're not actually sure whether they're organic, So they are very expensive. Majority of people are now living on GMO food. But like with that food, they don't really have any information. In fact, they get dumber, get sick, and get so sick from those kind of GMO we now have to eat. So my question now is that when you now said we don't have to train our kids in that sense, so how do we now be sure that we pick from the energy carried from the vet without having to guide them, especially when they don't have access to those food that they've been grown from the roots, and then they get like all the vibrant energy they need from nature to mix with that food. How would they now do it if that is not there? That would be my own question.
That's a very beautiful question, because if you're listening to go to the way I was explaining it, we don't have to train them. That does not also mean we cannot assist them to grow. That word, assisting them to grow, it kind of mean like a guardian, because it's a duty of parents to protect, a guide, and nurture a child to grow. But there is difference between guiding, protecting, nurturing to grow, and training. Training is more like programming them, but guiding is more like allowing them to also see it. For example, to answer the question straight, we know the food on earth now are poison. We all know this. Okay, fine. It's beautiful to also explain to your child, this is an organic orange and this is GMO. GMO have no seed inside. Organic have seed. Then you cut the two orange, you show her the two orange, and then you let her taste the both. This is where I come in now. You let her taste the both, and you will ask her, how does the GMO taste? At first, he will say, good. Then you will give her the organic. She will taste it also, the one with the seed. And also ask her, how does this one taste? Oh, this one tastes more delicious. Then automatically, what have you done? What have you just done? You have not just programmed him to always buy organic food. You have shown him how to have his choice and understanding of what type of food is good. So when that child grow with that type of knowledge, with that type of family background, with that type of basic knowledge, then that child can fully develop and bring out the best from herself. But if you always just program the child because you know the food on supermarket, they are all poisoned, and because of that you tell the child, don't ever buy GMO food, it's poison, it's toxic to the body, and this child has never tested GMO food. All she hear is what you are programming, installing like a data in her brain. That child risk 90% chance tomorrow to end up eating toxic food, because that information never really digests in her DNA. But if you give her the option of choice, then she can follow the right choice, because at the end of it all old souls knows the truth. I don't know if my answer in any way helped you.
It does make sense, because that's what I'm trying to get into. Because I have my son would I used to do the same thing that you just explained right now. Like
exactly.
I used to, one of those famous fast food, which I'm not going to mention in the air, so that they're based on, totally GMO, that they don't have any value to your body.
Yeah.
In fact, they would rather add more to your problem. So normally when I would told him not to, that it's GMO, they can eat it, we will go online. I mean, I'll tell him, he will still want to eat it.
That's his nature.
Just because of what he said. So then what I then do is I go online, we do research together about those food, how they process and all
exactly.
that. Then, so after all that, and then I'll say to him now, so then we went to the market to buy our own food, which we buy everything organically and just kind of, try and cook it from scratch and all that. And you do all that, and then I ask him to eat that. And I said, now, how do you feel? Which one do you feel more forward? And he now said that, I'm never going to eat that particular food anymore.
Exactly.
So now I know this is this made me strong. This is good for me. This is good for my soul. I liked it.
Yes.
Oh my God. So since then, if you now, in fact, I will sometimes ask him, do you mind if we go and eat in?
No.
And then he will reply, no, that's
GMO.
I'll wait till we get home. But when you was talking about that, I couldn't understand just because I was late to join, so I could not understand. So which is why I asked that.
It was a beautiful question to ask because the fact still remains that they so know the truth. So all you have to do is to show the child. Like, for example, my little daughter, she's soon she will be 3 years. As little as she is, when she wants to touch something, I'm like, this one is me painful. That's her language. This one is painful, but this one is cool. She don't just take it because I say it. She like to try it. And then what I do, I try my best as possible to be there and aware and be present. After all, I have analyzed the worst that could happen if she tried it. Then she kind of, as she's about to do it, our own intuition stop her from doing it. At the beginning, the mom was always freaked out, but later she understand what I was doing. We don't program children. We help children to be aware. And when you help your children to by themselves find a way, then they will never lost it for life. But when you set the way for them, which is obedient, and you want them to obey you, because of their own authentic self, they will become like a natural rebel against what you're saying. Then at that time, it doesn't matter if you were saying the truth, if you were saying the lies, that child will still rebel against you. Just like a young girl. Any young girl, the parents is always locking at home saying, you can't go out, you can't earn friends. Majority of them end up becoming a prostitute when they become adults. Why? Right from childhood, she was never exposed to the society around her. She don't know what's out there. But the parents thought they were protecting her. But now she grew into a big girl. She have her own independence, which is very expensive. And she can do whatever she like. Then she want to do those things.
She has been waiting for it.
Exactly. So it's good to let them know. Like my son, he always asks me, how does it feel to smoke? He saw people smoking. He's curious. He wants to know how it feels like. But because all you see is smoke is coming out from people's mouth. And sometimes it can be beautiful as a child to see smoke pouring out from people's mouth. They look like a dragon, like a walking dragon. So he's curious to know. What do I have to do? I have to sit together with him, do research with him, and show him the history of tobacco, the functions of the lungs and the liver, and what these things is doing. So now, when he sees somebody smoking, it's like, wow, I feel so sorry for you. Because why? He was not told don't smoke. He was exposed to what smoke really is. But if he just asks, "Hey, how does it feel like to smoke?" Like, smoking is bad. Don't do it. Don't do it. Smokers die young. That's not enough. Because why? As an old soul he is, he have his own rebellious nature, which means to just tell him don't do it is not enough. You have to go through this process. They have to develop. So that's why obedience have destroyed humanity a lot. So as a parent, we all should adopt that nature of really allowing our children to develop, not to train them. They are not dogs. They are not pets. You don't train them. We assist them to grow, and we listen to their own thoughts, to their own perspective. For example, a lot of teachers complain about kids. Before you fight your kids for not being serious at school, it's good to hear from your kid how is the nature of his classroom. What makes him always resist this teacher? Then you will not find a balance that no, everything is well with your son. Everything is well with your daughter. It is the teacher that don't have the ability and the quality of how to connect with him. Because the same child which you said lack focus at school, if you give them that same child PlayStation, he put all his focus there, which means he don't have a problem of focusing. He just need a way you can connect with him so he can really focus. That's why educational system really need reform. Yeah, but if you have another question, you can feel free to ask.
Okay. That'll be for me tonight. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for calling. We appreciate you. We wish you a nice day ahead. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So it's just like that. The act of obedience is nothing but a programming. It's nothing but a way to deny you from expressing your own self. So that's why I was talking about loyalty, respect. 1 minute. I'm on Facebook Live. We will talk later. Good. This is Mayor. So, really introducing loyalty to humanity, respect. Even royalty, I can even put under the trash. Loyalty, I can even put under the trash. I prefer respect. Because what is respect? Respect simply means accepting people's limits. You see already the very big difference from obedience. Obedience means you have to follow. This is how it is, follow it. So it denies you of your own expression. It denies you of your own will. It denies you of your own desire. It denies you of even your own thoughts. You can't even think. Although that's what religion really did to many people anyway. This is the 10 commandments. You just have to obey it. You cannot even ask question. Fine, no problem. It's good. It makes sense, but it's good. No problem. But what is really important... yeah, that will be later. What is really important here is respect already creates this atmosphere of acceptance. Acceptance. Surrendering. Because to respect someone, it means first you surrender and let go of your ego. And you take the person, the individual, exactly as they are. But when you don't have respect, anything they do will upset you. Anything they do will make you not happy. Because why? You don't accept their own limits. Because respect means accepting people's limitation. You have to know that everybody cannot think fast like you. Everybody cannot be so strong like you. Everybody cannot work so hard. Sometimes when I'm working, when I was working, my colleagues, they are like, oh, I'm sorry, you so fast and we are all stressed. Because I work in the sector where I have to produce things which they have to be following up with. So when they are slow, at the end everywhere is full. They are like, go take a break, go drink a tea or something, take a break. I'm like, no. If I take a break now, I feel weak. I have to keep working. For me, you have to keep following me. But it gets to a point they start becoming so nervous and angry. Then for me also get to a point I have to take a deep breath. Like, okay. We don't have the same energy. We don't have the same strengths. We don't have the same way of walking. I have to really respect these people. Then what I do sometimes, I just take a walk, go drink water, sit down. I will just keep 10 to 15 minutes. Why? Just because I want them to follow up, to meet up. So before I come back, they are like, oh, it's coming again. So they feel torture just by walking with me. So many of them try their best to always escape the area where I work. But it gets to a point I have to learn how to respect them. Because why? If I'm just angry with them, you guys are so slow. Come on, schneller. Then it's like, hello, we are not robot, we are not machine. You are strong does not mean we have to be strong. This is what we do. We cannot carry what you carry alone. We two of us have to carry it. Since you carry it alone, you are strong. Then you have to also respect that two of us have to carry this thing together. Then I'm like, okay, he's right. They don't have to do it exactly as I do it. And I have to accept this. I have to learn how to be more slow and how to also follow. And they are how to follow, not really their vibration, but how to match with how, so we can work together as a team. If not, it's like you are always ahead and everybody have to always walk behind you. At the end, you get to where you are, you have to wait for everybody to come ahead you. That's not so educated. So what I'm trying to show here is we should substitute obedience with respect. If humans can do that, there will be no war anymore on earth. There will be no one evil man killing everybody on earth. If only we can substitute obedience with respect. So which means all tribe, all language, a guy which tradition you practice, I don't care. All of them have to come together and cancel the word obedience. No more obedience should exist anymore. Because obedience is one of the greatest tools that have even destroyed this earth to this point. For example, some of Hitler generals that was Cash. I don't know, some of you who really know the German histories. There are even special book, even if you don't know their history. There are special book they call the Nazis Doctors. I love that book. It's not a good book. It's not a bad book. I don't judge. I like that book. The Nazis Doctors. What were they doing? They were the people using all these people on the camp for experiments. For experiments, especially the black people, because they were so curious to study more about the black gene. Why? You know, the idea of Hitler, he believed they come from the Atlantic, so his race is more superior than all the humanity. So, but he was so surprised to find out that melanin and the science and the chemical makeup of Africans is very, 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 very powerful. In fact, it's not even from this earth. So that was so curious for them. A lot of people don't talk about it. They just always talk about juice when it comes to Nazis. But there were a lot of secret experiment that was done on Africans. You know, nobody documented all these things. But now there are a lot of books, especially this one I'm talking about, Nazis Doctors. So when some of those generals who was in charge of those operations, where they were later apprehended and they were asked, why did you have to do this as a human? Because they really did things I can't even talk about here. Why do you have to do this? And you know what all of them was saying? I don't do nothing. I simply follow orders. This is why a lot of them, international criminal courts have to even let many of them go. Some are in US now, here in Germany, Italy. They are even protecting them and taking care of them, paying them a lot of money. Some of those Nazi generals. Because why? They just follow orders. Why? Because of obedience. He was trained as a soldier to obey his own superior. So when his superior said go, shoot, he goes, he shoots. Why? He knows he's not responsible. The person responsible is that gave the order. Imagine obedience was not existing. If someone said go and shoot, please, may I know what he did to you? Sorry. I said go and shoot. Sorry, if you cannot explain, you have to go and shoot him yourself. I'm sorry, it took me life. And he goes home. And he go home. Then, one man can never have powers to control millions of people and kill so many people. This is just like one of example of how you should know how toxic obedience is. There are so many parents also, especially in Africa, not just in Africa, even America, India, Arabic nation. So it's everywhere in the world, not just in Africa. There are so many parents also. The type of guidance they give their child is not a guidance to help them grow or develop. It's just a program to program them and make them become what they feel or think is the best. For example, this family, we are Islam. You can't do anything outside this family except Islam. You can't marry a man if he's not a Muslim. This is our life, and this is exactly how it has been for generations, and nothing's changing this. So imagine that little daughter now go to university in UK or in America or Germany, France, wherever the place is, and fall in love with a guy who is atheist or a guy who is a Christian or who is a Jew. Automatically, because his boyfriend is a Jew, he's already in a very big problem. Why? She was given a specific instruction that she have to follow. So automatically, obedience becomes also like a trap. Obedience becomes also like a cage. Obedience becomes also like a wall. Because why? That same father now who told her, you are a Muslim, you cannot date anybody except a Muslim person. That same father now will feel betrayed. Will feel disappointed. Why? Because of his ego. Oh, upon how I try to train my daughter, try to teach her all the morals and values of life, look at what she ended up to become. Then he feels disappointed. Why? Because I use the word control freak. Because he's a control freak, he's disappointed now because she did not obey him, which are blind him from seeing the reality that she have her own emotions, she have her own thoughts, she have her own desire, and she have her own understanding. And these things need to be expressed also. Even when she's doing wrong, and you know she's doing wrong, all you have to do, good evening, good afternoon, good night. It's 10:24 over here. Good evening. So all he have to do is, I am 60 years old. I am your father. I have seen all these things in life already. You are just 19. Please listen to me. I know what I am telling you. Okay, no problem. You still like to go to those techno parties. You still like to pop in those pills. You still like to go around with those toxic boys. You still think this is life. What you have to do is to support her and guide her through that process. That is the only way he can help her heal herself. Because why? If you want to keep on jumping on her, oh, you are a disgrace to this family, upon how we try to train you and make you become, like fighting her, it will go to a stage, she will run away from the house, maybe run away with one junkie boyfriend, destroy her life further. So, compassion, love, and respect should be used to substitute obedience. So your child don't have to obey you, your child have to respect you. Like when I talk to my boy, I always make him understand, respect is not just something you do in my presence. Now in my house, I don't have TV, but their mom still have TV in her house. Yeah, and he knows we have laws, we have rules. You can't just sit and watch TV. That don't work. Everything have rules, and those rules now is not because we want to train him. It's because we feel we want to protect him. But at the same time, we also make him see it. This is why we are doing this, and he understands. Now is 12 anyway. He understands this already now. But sometimes, when nobody's home, if I'm a big boy now, I'm 12, he goes to the living room, sit down, switch on the TV, bam. It gets to a point when we're coming back, he off the TV. And that's so annoying for me, and he knows this very well. But it was my duty to make him understand respect is not what you do only in my presence. You know how this house functions already. Whether I'm around, I am not around, it makes no difference. Just know this is how it is. And after a while, he gets it. So even when he's still alone at home now, he will still pick up his phone like, haha, can I watch TV? You're like, okay, yeah. After 1 hour, make sure you switched it off. Okay. Then it follow up like that. But if you just always like, why you always watch TV? He will start leaving the house, chilling to his friend, because why? In his friend's house there is nothing like that. In fact, his friends even have a MacBook in his room where he can watch everything he like in the YouTube. So before you know, he will start spending more time outside rather than staying home and reading or doing other beautiful stuff he can do. So why is this thing very important? It's important because substituting obedience with respect, like I said, I even like loyalty more than obedience. Because loyalty is a kind of alliance. I agree with you. I am loyal for you. I agree with you. I connect with you. I concur. I support. While obedience, you have no option. It's so you have to follow. So we humanity, have to try more to obey less and respect more. You come to society, they tell you, this place, women don't walk in that street. Only men can walk in that street. They have to respect you to show it to you why woman should not walk in that street. So when they respect that your individuality, express it and explain to you, and you later become so stubborn and decide, I will not obey you, I want to walk there, then that becomes disrespect. This is very important for people to understand, because if not, we just sound like I'm saying don't listen to people. No, that's not really what I'm saying. I'm talking about the balance. So the act of them having that time to really explain to you, for example, now let me use Benin Kingdom for example. In the burial ground of Queen Eden, the lady we just celebrated on the 14th of February, the goddess of love who sacrificed her life for Benin Kingdom, Queen Eden. The only thing she demanded from her husband, which was the king then, Obaewakpe, is, my husband, my king, I am sacrificing this life for you to be able to save your throne and this kingdom. I have no child which can become the king later. So I have nothing that the Beninese can use to remember me when I'm gone. Please, I need just one favor from you, my king. The king was like, you are about to die and kill yourself just to sacrifice your life for this kingdom? Whatever you demand, I will do as the king. And she asked, please, wherever this body is buried, anyone, regardless from which family the person come from, that step their foot on this grave should be sacrificed instantly with me. The king accepted. This law, so many people die. Because why? At the beginning, the place was just there. Some people don't know. You just walk past it and they have to kill you also. But when time keeps growing, let's say 100 years ago, they have to now fence this place with a bricks, with block, and put gates. And also put a sign like, don't go there. So now everybody now know, that is the burial ground of Queen Eden. It's being fenced around and no human is allowed to go there and put their feet close to that burial ground. When you do that, you will be killed, regardless even if you are President Buhari. That's how it is, instantly. Because the energy there is not, don't go there. So because that has been done now, when you not tell a visitor who is coming to Benin Kingdom, maybe a tourist or a visitor, a foreigner, and say, you know what, this is our kingdom, please, you see that gate, you see that sign, everything, don't go there. When you go there, this is what can happen to you. When this person now decide on her own or on his own and say, no, I am going there, I will not obey you. I don't like obedience. Obedient Dr. Guname say we should not obey anybody. And you now go there, then the person can really be killed, and that can also be justified. Why? The act of explaining it to you already is respect. Respect means accepting people's limitation. So the act of you denying and refusing and pushing away that respect is also disrespect, which means you have already crossed the line. So that is different from obedience that I am talking about here. So the type of obedience I'm talking about here is when people tell you, shut up, don't say anything, this is how it is, follow. My dear, if you come to Benin Kingdom and somebody tell you, don't put your leg there, if you put your leg there, the gods will kill you. And you are like, why is that? And everybody are like, shut up, don't ask, it's just so. My dear, you will put your leg there, even the gods will not kill you. Not because they are asleep, it's because they know you're ignorant and they know you are not aware of those things. So this is very important to keep in balance. So obedience should be substituted with respect. And when we humans can use respect instead of obeying, then we can grow more as one family. And not really all about the old ones already, the children. We have to respect the free will of the children. Your son don't like school. Your daughter don't like to read. But you wish for her to be a doctor. You wish for her to be a neurologist. You wish for her to be a chemist or whatever you always dream for her to be or for them to be. Because of that, now you are angry. Your heart is full of hate. You don't even like your own child anymore. Why? Because she don't like to read. She feels so weak. She feels so stressed up just by reading. Automatically, what you are doing, you are sabotaging the nature of that child. Because a wise mother, as a wise father, it's your duty to like, wow, this is our society. We need doctors. I would be very happy if this child can really focus on her education and also become a doctor. There's no problem. Why is she here? What does she want? What is your own interests? What can you do? You see, those thoughts you are having now on your own, thinking about your child now, those thoughts now is already an act of respect. But if all you are discussing with your wife in the bed, or you're discussing alone with yourself is, oh, I have done so much, I have spent so much to make this child be good in life, and this is how it's going to pay me. That's greediness. That's oppression. That is not love anymore. That is a toxic pool. Don't forget, the pool is blue and beautiful, and the water is toxic. The beauty and the size of the pool now is not enough. When you still push the child inside, it's toxic and it's toxic. So that's just it. This week's soul expression is just to show a kind of like a window, a kind of like a kind of an awareness for we to know that indoctrination and passing over doctrination through this act of obedience is the only problem humanity have. Imagine how can one man just stand and say, I'm the founder of a terrorist group. I order all my group go around and do this all over the world, and all of them start doing it. The same way a president will just also stand, I order all my soldiers go to so country and start destroying. Those acts of obedience, you can argue that it's structuring your society, but it's also destroying your society. So that act of obedience is what is destroying you, the whole of human race. That act of obedience is what is really making everything to skew and become more and more smaller. So if you have a question, you can feel free to ask a question. If you also feel like calling to ask your question or writing it, you can feel free. If not, it's getting late. We have to go. It's been a long day. So feel free to ask a question. Saying that. Thank you. So feel free to ask a question. Feel free to make any contribution you have. If not, we'll call it a day until Saturday for our next weekly soul expression. Because this, for me, is something we have to express more. Something we have to express more. You cannot have a wife and you just want her to always obey you. Hello? She can respect you. In fact, she have to respect you same way you have to respect her. But when you not take it like obedience. Same with the woman. When you just have a man and you think he have to obey you. Hello, where are you? Do this before I come home. The man's like, sorry, I'm not in the mood of doing anything. I just want to relax myself. You have to also respect him that, okay, today is, of course, if he's a man that do things before, if he's always relaxing, then that you can do whatever you like with him. But if he's a man that at least also sometimes help you and do his best, that day you have to respect him. That day you have to accept him. Even if he might look somehow like, I'm tired, I needed you to help me. Yeah, I understand. But also accept his truth that day. Those things help relationship grow. It helps us express ourselves. Because if not, the energy is not balanced. If the woman have to always obey the man, always please the man, always she, then it becomes toxic. Then the soul start getting frustrated and things like that, which lead to so many protests. And different souls have different way they protest. So what I really share here today is, let's get rid of obedience. We may not be able to do it in the whole global scale, but we can do it in our life. Because we are ancient souls traveling through this time and space, and we can decide what we do. We can decide how we want it. We can decide how we want our life to be. So if you have been indoctrinated, or if you have been programmed or conditioned due to that concept of I have to be obey, I have to be this, my dear, free yourself. You don't have to obey anyone. You just have to be yourself and be able to express your own self. So this is really what I come to share here today with everyone. Respect people, don't obey people. No one have rights to give you orders. Don't obey, but respect. And respect is reciprocal, as they say. You have to be the two-way around. If not, don't also respect. That's become radical. Yeah. So I thank you all. But if you have questions, you can just chip it in before I go. If not, I will just thank you all. Yeah, I think it's more than 1 hour already. Yeah, I will just thank you all, and thank you all for your support. And please share it. Share it. There are people who really like to hear this. Imagine when you are in a toxic relationship, or toxic marriage, or toxic family, or toxic company, or toxic group, where everybody's expecting you to always obey. And just because you want to express yourself, people are like, shut up, you don't have to talk. This is out. This song will even tell you, oh, please don't let people hear it. No. I can't say what people cannot hear. Except when I am protecting law of privacy anyway. That's of course, because sometimes some things I just have to keep in. It depends on my rapport. It depends on my communication and connection with the person. So, but I'm just talking like in a general form. So your heads have to always be up, your shoulder have to always be straight, and you have to know your will, your desire, and how to really express it. So not conditioning yourself. You don't have to condition yourself. Express it. Go for it. Now it's becoming personal. Go for it and be yourself at the same time. And enjoy being yourself. Yeah. And don't be a prisoner of another man's thoughts. Be you, do you, love you, and hug yourself. So I send you a peace. I send you a love. Bye-bye.